Don't take this personal, bro, but chances are you're very easily replaceable. In your work, in your friend group, how much value do you really think you bring to that situation? Let's be completely honest. If your job needed to replace you, how fast do you think they could find a replacement? 1 day, 2 days max? There's so many other kids or so many other guys out there that have similar skill sets to you and may even be more hungry than you. They might be willing to work your job, put in more hours weekly, might be willing to stay later nights when you just want to go home at 5 p.m. to go home and just be lazy and play video games. You are not working as hard as someone who doesn't even have your spot yet. You got your spot and now you're content. You're not really working towards becoming better in your field. You're not doing extra studying or putting extra effort towards learning on the side. If you truly want to be irreplaceable or borderline impossible to replace, you have to be doing work outside. You have to be doing research. You have to be staying up to date with different trends in your field. Otherwise, someone who is the company that you work for, they see that and they will take that person over you and replace you in a heartbeat. Most of the time to these corporations, you're really just a number. And if you stay that way and you don't work towards earning respect within that company, you will be moved and you will be shipped out before you even know it. They will say, "Thank you for your services. You are no longer needed here. Have a great day." That's it. You could have been with that company for 5, 10 years, but you didn't work hard enough to get that credit and become a high status individual within that company to the point where you didn't make it even hard for them to replace you. They found somebody in 2 days. In 2 days, 10 years worth of commitment to this company was replaced within 2 days. How does that sound? And most people are gonna say, "Oh, that's just how companies work." Most guys will say, "That's just how companies are and it's something you should accept." And to a certain extent, that's true. But if you are so skilled, if you are charismatic, if you know what you're doing, if you know how the trends will be in the future, if you're staying up to date with relevant technology, it's going to be a lot difficult for them to replace you. It might take years for them to find someone remotely close to you. And by then, you have gotten better. You have made it even difficult. You've made it even more difficult for them to find a option that's even remotely comparable to you. You have to take this logic with you, not only for just the way you work or the environment that you work in, but even in your friend groups, right? A lot of guys may be too young to even be in college yet. You might still be in high school and you're not really too worried about your career right now. And honestly, I don't blame you. That's how I was when I was in high school. That's how pretty much every guy is in high school. They're not really thinking too far out. However, there are lessons you can learn within the friend group that you are currently a part of that you can take with you many more years into your life. And this is basically how to be a valuable contributor to this friend group. You guys know how oftentimes in friend groups that there's groups within that group, whether it's a group of 4 or 5 guys for pretty much most of the events that occur, there will be a group of maybe 3 that go to events without the other 2. And obviously you don't want to be a part of the group that gets excluded, right? You don't want to be one of those 2 guys that get excluded. And if you want to be a part of that smaller circle, how can you get there? What different things can you bring to the table? Are you really funny? Are you the guy that knows how to set up the plans? Are you the guy that knows how to manage different egos, different personalities, remain calm under pressure, not always trying to fight people when you go out? These valuable characteristics and traits will allow you to not be replaced or even excluded from certain activities. The guys that aren't willing to improve on themselves, improve on their ego, and honestly just understand that they still have to work on themselves, that it's not good to just be the same guy that they were originally in that friend group when it first started, because the other group members that you have are currently changing and evolving. So if you're not evolving with them, it's going to be very difficult for them to still want your company. Yeah, they might have some love and affection towards you because you've known them for so long, but that friendship won't really get any closer. It's might distant over time. It might become distant over time. So in order to avoid that, you have to stay up to date with their life, and you have to also improve yourself to a point where they wouldn't want to replace your company with anybody else's. Because there's so many different people that your friends meet on a daily basis. They could have common activities. They could have similar sense of humor, similar desires and career paths. But if you want to make that friendship last for a lifetime, you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to stay up to date, and you're going to have to continue to improve in the areas that you may not necessarily be that good at. And it might be difficult. It might hurt your ego to think that, oh, wow, I can't just be myself. I can't just blah, 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 blah. Bro, it's not like that. You have to go in there with the mindset of, I want that friend to get the same benefit of company that I get whenever I hang out with them. You have to make your company towards them worthwhile to a point where they don't ever want to let you go or lose contact. That's the mindset you need to have. And also, in terms of relationships, in terms of the way you talk to your family, your loved ones, take some pride in your last name and continue to evolve in order to live the best possible life you can. Put it all out there before you're gone, man. Never forget, everyone is replaceable. That's why it's important that you become irreplaceable.